Hey guys, welcome back, and if you are a new viewer, then hey, my name is Lisa and I am a VC English tutor, and today we're going to talk about how to embed quotes into your essays like a boss. And yes, I've worn an ace beanie today because I thought it was befitting of this video, because I'm pretty sure after what we get through today, you guys are going to ace your essays, especially in terms of the quotations part. You would think that quoting is really straightforward and all you need to do is just do this if you're quoting somebody else's word, but actually when you start integrating it into essays and into specific sentences, it can start to get a little bit more advanced than that. I wouldn't say complicated because it is absolutely not complicated, especially after we go through it together, but just to let you know that there are advancing stages with quotations, and the better you get at it, the more cohesive your essays, and thus the easier it is for your examiner or teacher to read your essay, which is exactly what you want. The key rule is never quote for the sake of quoting. So whenever students ask me, how many quotes should I have per paragraph? Should I have 4, 5, 6? Or whenever I hear teachers who say, you must have at least 30 quotes per essay, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like that just freaks me out and stresses me out, because no, it shouldn't be about the quantity, it should be about the quality. If you've got a sentence where a quote will really aptly suit it and it's going to help improve and enhance your discussion of the particular text, then go for it. But don't just chuck a quote in just because you need to make that 4 quote per paragraph quota, because that's just then an extra pressure that you just don't need. In that case, your quotes start to become irrelevant as well. You might just be chucking something in just because, and if it doesn't really work with what you're trying to say, well then what's the point of putting it there in the first place? There is no point. Just remember that quotes are supposed to enhance your ideas further, not just to sit there and look pretty. Quotes should never tell the story for you. And if you guys want to check out my video on how to avoid retelling the story, then go ahead. But basically, quotes are supposed to be like a support system, much like how you back up your computer at home. Sometimes students can overcrowd their essays by just quoting quotes that are just way too long and they stretch out over 2 sentences or 3 sentences. And that is absolutely unnecessary. Guys, just make sure you quote what you need and that's it. So that's why we've got single worded quotes as well as phrase quotes. But I would not recommend, or I would ask you to steer clear of writing full long sentences. Short sentences are fine, but really the long ones are just, you're just filling up space and you're not really talking about your ideas in that case. So let's have a look at a long quote and see how we can narrow it down. So this is the student sentence. The multitudes of deaths surrounding Anna begin to take its toll on her, burdening her with guilt as sometimes, if I walked the main street of the village in the evening, I felt the press of their ghosts. I realized then that I had begun to step small and carry myself all hunched, keeping my arms at my sides and my elbows tucked, as if to leave room for them. Alright, so that is a pretty damn long sentence. Let's see how we can shorten it, and you can shorten it by using something called ellipses, and I'm sure you guys have seen these before. So, if we're to do this in a better fashion, this is how it could turn out. The multitudes of deaths surrounding Anna begin to take its toll on her, burdening her with guilt as she felt the press of their ghosts and begun to step small and carry herself all hunched, as if to leave room for them. So, see how just by adding the ... we managed to narrow down the sentence by heaps, and it just makes it a lot cleaner and precise. As you can see in that last sentence, I also had a square bracket. Do you guys know what the square brackets are for? If you don't, I'm going to tell you now. Whenever you're putting a quotation into your sentence, sometimes that particular quote will not fit perfectly into your sentence just because of perhaps the tense or they're missing some words. So in this case, in order to make the sentence coherent and for it to basically make sense, I just had to chuck in the and then it just made it a whole lot clearer. So basically any words that are in square brackets is to signify that you're putting your own words into this quotation just to make it make sense. You can also see how I've chucked in brackets for the word her, and that's because of the changes in perspective. So because this book is written in first person narrative, but I'm a student writing an essay about Anna, the protagonist, whenever the word I comes up, I start to replace it with the word her because that starts to make more sense in my essay as well. Now, some additional things. If you're quoting the title of your text, then make sure that you either underline your text or put it in quotation marks. one or the other, not both. So that's just a quick sum up of how to embed quotes into your essay like a boss. And so I want you to think of 4 things when you are quoting. And this is only if, you're still getting used to quoting yourself. If you're pro at quotes, then fantastic. And I hope by the end of this video, you guys will all be, because quoting is really easy at the end of the day. First thing is, does the quote blend into my sentence? Second thing is, does my sentence still make sense even with the quote? Third thing, is it too convoluted for my readers to understand, so should I shorten it? 4, did I use the correct grammar? Also, next week I'm going to do a giveaway as well, so please stay tuned for that. I'll actually be giving away 1 copy of my Lisa's English Intensive Workshop Study Guide. This is something I spent a lot of time creating. It basically covers everything from text response, context, and language analysis with heaps of sample essays. It's something that I created because I know that there are heaps of study guides out there, but there really aren't that many that hone in on what specifically you need to do for SACs and for exams. And this is just loaded with heaps of advice from tutors and examiners, especially myself, as you can see. So if you tune in next week, then you might be able to score yourself one of these and prep yourself for a wonderful year of VC English in 2016. So that's pretty much it from me, guys, today. Please like this video if you've gained some insight into how to embed quotes like a boss, and especially if you are all right with quotes already, if I've helped to consolidate your knowledge or refresh it as well. Please comment below if you have any questions at all. If there's any topics you would like me to touch base on, then I'm more than happy to. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because there are going to be more VC English tips and also just VC tips in general. Bye! So don't be scared and feel like you have to agree with the prompt. Be different. Show your teacher something that's original. Show them a unique way of thinking, and that's where you actually get the major point.